And welcome to this edition of the Discover Trade and Investment Series, Doing Business in Ghana. Thank you for your patience. We had a few technical difficulties at the beginning, but we are here now with all of our lovely attendees. Thank you for joining us. My name is Melissa Peel, manager of the Surrey Board of Trade Business and International Trade Center. The Surrey Board of Trade International Trade Center provides businesses with trade documentation services, business connections, digital trade events, targeted marketing information, and support and trade opportunities to sell goods and services beyond Canada's borders. This center could not operate if it wasn't for the generous support of our Business and International Trade Center sponsors, the law firm of Fasken, BDC, the Chambers of Commerce Group Insurance Plan by SNF. Thank you so much to our sponsors. We began the Discover Trade and Investment Series a year ago to provide members, the business community, with valuable market information in order for them to grow their businesses beyond Canada's borders. Held once per month, each event features business opportunities in a different country or region of the world, presented by high-level trade experts, government agencies, and consular offices. Today, we are joined by all three. I'm pleased to present our speakers. Our first speaker is Mr. Joseph Fripon. He is the Honorary Consul of Ghana in Vancouver. He has lived in Vancouver for over 30 years, where he spent most of that time living in Vancouver and working as an executive for Shaw. Mr. Fripon and his wife, Mary, have worked within the Ghanaian community for many years as members of the Ghana Association. And his wife also serves the community as a nurse. Our second speaker today is Mr. Mautor Alifo. He is the acting head of mission for the Ghana High Commission in Canada. He is the Minister of Trade and Investment and has worked as the director for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and R&I in Ghana for 20 years. Mr. Alifo will share his vast knowledge of trade and investment in Ghana with us today. Our final speaker is Mr. Warren Sinkowski. He is a trade commissioner at the Pacific Regional Office of Global Affairs Canada, where he helps companies in the infrastructure and forestry and wood product sectors develop and execute their international business development strategies. He joined Global Affairs Canada in 2008 and previously served at the Embassy of Canada to Italy, with responsibility for macroeconomic reporting, and at Global Affairs Canada headquarters in Ottawa, where he took part in the 2010 G20 Toronto Summit and the negotiations toward a strategic partnership agreement with the European Union. Welcome to all of our speakers, and thank you for joining us. Today, Ghana is not only the best place for doing business in West Africa, but the fastest growing economy in the world, according to the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Report 2019. The country has developed into an established business destination for investors seeking a conducive business environment, committed and progressive government-private sector participation, political stability, transparent regulations, and a dynamic private sector ready for partnerships. To start us off this morning, Mr. Fripon, please tell us more. Over to you.
Thank you, Marisa. Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Fripon, and I am the Honorary Consul for the province of British Columbia. Today, I would like to introduce the Acting Ghanaian High Commissioner to Canada, Mr. Noble Mautor Alifo. Mr. Alifo is a diplomat with nearly 20 years of experience. In his capacity as a Deputy Director of Ghana Europe Bureau, he took part in political dialogue between Ghana and various countries such as Luxembourg, Russia, Germany, and Belgium. While serving as the head of the Chancery and Political and Economic Affairs at the Ghanaian Embassy in Belgium, he took part in many activities, including the EU-African Summit and the ACP Committee on Sustainable Development. Obviously, we would like to Mr. Elifo to tell us more about trade and opportunities available in Ghana. So let's welcome Mr. Elifo.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph Frimpong, our Honorary Consul to British Columbia, Madam Chairman, panelists, and distinguished audience. It is our honor to be with you today to share experiences and ideas with you on the business opportunities in Ghana as of today. My screen still appears to be blurred, and I've changed the location, and it's still, can you see me or hear me well, please?
We can hear you well. Your face, though, is a bit distorted. Perhaps you're able to go back to where you were previously. I could start the video and you would have a few minutes to get reoriented.
Okay, so with my preliminary statement, I thank you all for this opportunity with you. So we start with the video, please.
Located at the center of the world, Ghana is the best investment destination in West Africa and ranks as West Africa's first in the Ease of Doing Business Report 2019. It was projected as one of the fastest growing economies in the world, with a growth rate of 6.8% in 2019, and has been declared as Africa's new bright spot after being ranked 4th in the world and 1st in Africa in the 2019 Global Retail Development Index. As the host of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Ghana is creating the linkages that will make it the gateway to Africa, aided by dynamic policies, a stable political environment, and strong economic fundamentals. It is a land of opportunities, offering businesses across many sectors the potential to flourish. The country is open and accessible to investors and the private sector, providing a peaceful environment and upholding the rule of law. The government of Ghana is confident and optimistic about the positive results in its investment drive through the GIPC. Ghana has 8 million hectares of arable land, well irrigated by a wide network of water bodies, making it a region ready for large-scale mechanized agriculture. The government and major policy planners recognize that expanding the agro-industrial base is the best path to develop. Ghana has put in place the right legal and regulatory framework to increase foreign direct investment. The Industrial Zones Program allows manufacturers and agro-processors to take advantage of favorable tax and duty incentives to produce for exports from Ghana into the EU and US markets. A rich cultural history and wonderful natural beauty makes Ghana a great tourist destination. The Year of Return Tourism and Marketing campaign in 2019 positioned Ghana as a key travel and investment destination for African Americans and people of the global diaspora. The year recorded significant increases in the number of visitors to Ghana. Ghana's growing consumer market is providing compelling reasons for investing in the services sector. The retail sector has been valued at $24.4 billion. A growing middle class with increasing purchasing power is creating demand for a wider variety of sophisticated services in healthcare, finance, and education. In the region, Ghana has one of the highest mobile penetration rates at 140%, with data penetration at 89%. The country has a thriving startup scene, helped by access to broadband internet that runs on fiber optic and 4G networks. the fintech industry is worth over $50 billion US. Ghana is an English-speaking nation located in the center of the geographical world, with flight times from Europe or America averaging about 8 hours. Transportation networks in and out of the country have received enhancements in order to aid the ease of doing business. It has a new international airport terminal and an expanded port infrastructure. Tema Port is one of the largest in Africa, with a capacity to handle 3.5 million TEUs. The expansion in the economy is largely due to oil and gas development. Other sustainable sources of power, like solar, wind, and thermal, will significantly increase the country's energy resources. We invite you to share in Ghana's optimism, be part of the incredible opportunities we offer, and be open to the idea to grow in Ghana and grow with Ghana.
Thank you, Melissa, for telecasting our video for us. Would you like to put the PowerPoint on the screen, or I minimize it and use mine?
Please
Hello.
go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for the video. So my job is made very easy with the video. You've seen it all. The opportunities for business in Ghana and in Africa are unlimited. It's just about how we collaborate we foster or engender collaboration between business people in Canada and in Ghana, so we can harness these amazing resource base. The first question that comes to mind, if we have to talk about business opportunities in Ghana, will be why invest in Ghana? Addressing that should be very easy because the facts speak for themselves. We've had a stable democratic climate for over 20 years. It's by regional standards and by global standards, Ghana is a stable democracy. We adhere to the rule of law, very strong democratic institutions, free media, independent judiciary, and this is one risk area that maybe global investors, whether they are from Canada or UK, will be looking at how safe is the business environment, and we've got it well covered in Ghana with this fact. It is also the best place for doing business, as Melissa said a short while ago. Before the COVID kicked in, we were doing very well, and we were among 6 of the fastest growing economies on the African continent. And we were also a top destination for foreign direct investment because of political stability that we've enjoyed. You know, a risk factor could be elections in all parts of the world. History tells us that even well-established democracies like the US, even after elections, there could be some disputes here and there. But I want to assure business folks from Canada that we've seen it, we've experienced it. 7 successful democratic elections, free and fair. And the 8th one is loading on the 7th of December. Whether this government, which is doing so well, remains in power or not, there is every possibility that there will be peaceful conduct of elections in Ghana. So the business community has every reason to take that bold decision to pick Ghana for doing business. When it comes to accessibility, as you are already aware, the world is divided. Our globe is divided into the West and the East. That zero line, the Greenwich Mean line from the North Pole to the South Pole pass through Ghana. And then another line, the equator, also is just below Ghana. So the intersection of the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere, the West and the East, that intersection, the country which is closest to this intersection is Ghana. This is the reason why Ghana sees itself as being in the middle of the world. And that is an advantage in itself because we are accessible. It's easy when you come to West Africa, we are centered in the middle. That is why we call Ghana as a gateway to West Africa. And it's easy to travel from Ghana to all parts of the world because of our strategic location. In terms of accessibility, we have very good roads, big harbors for import and export of trade. We have modern airports. So it should be possible for brisk business for those who really want to pitch camp in Ghana. We are also very competitive. We have an educated labor force, and the secret is we've always paid attention to education, but this government in particular launched the Free Education Initiative, where education is now compulsory and it is accessible. Whether you are poor or rich, you would have education. So for some time to come, over some period, we are going to have a very educated population, which is trainable, which will be skilled enough to be employed by businessmen, FDI, to harness our resources back home. We also have a growing population. It's growing at 2%, which is a bit healthy. And there are more young people in Ghana than the aged. So a vibrant population which should be able to be employed should the business environment thrive. That is why we are on this investment drive to encourage people with the skills, capital to partner with Ghanaian companies so that we can harness our resources. We also have a very strong resource pool. As you already know, those of you who are very conversant with Ghana, we are the second largest producer of cocoa after Cote d'Ivoire in the world. And most of the time, the raw cocoa is exported. There lies the huge market for chocolatiers who would want to come and add value to it. It could be cocoa butter for export, turning it into beverages or even other products. We are also the second largest producer of gold in Africa after South Africa. And we, again, don't want to be confined to just extracting the gold and exporting it in that raw form. We want to add value to it. So business folks in Canada who have the skills to create jewelry shops, gold refineries, the sky is the limit in Ghana because we are rich with this resource. Next slide, please. I've been asked to speak about all the following sectors: agriculture, cotton, clean energy. But looking at it, I have only 15 minutes. So I will be just running through the sectors. But I want to leave this for the record that all the sectors are very critical. If I don't mention a particular sector during this presentation, it doesn't mean we don't take it seriously. So the audience should make the necessary follow-up if you want specific information on some sectors that will not necessarily be mentioned here today. But talking about agriculture and agro-processing, the mainstay of our economy is agriculture, and we want to produce. We can be the breadbasket for West Africa or Africa, and we want to export agricultural produce. And there is enough land in the country. The country is the size of the UK, although we are just 30 million people. So those of you who want to engage in agriculture, maybe because we want to mechanize agriculture, if you have skills in servicing tractors or the supply of tractors, irrigation, agricultural equipment, post-production services, transport or storage facilities, Ghana should be your destination. We are also very interested in developing a sector that could be catered for by laboratory equipment and quality assurance, distribution of seeds, pesticides, fertilizers, veterinary drugs. These are things that maybe Canadian businessmen and women who are interested in this sector can decide to consider, because we also lose so much because we are now trying to modernize some aspects of the agricultural value chain, cold chain equipment. Those who have the skills, the capital to produce and install such facilities may contact us. A number of African countries are still importing day-old chicks from Europe before doing their poultry business in this part of the world. But that cannot be the case when the land is just there lying fallow. So people with the skills and the know-how for production of hatcheries or production of day-old chicks could also decide on Ghana. Agro-processing, I don't have to add more. So much gets to waste what we produce. So we need to process what we are able to produce. We need to packaging it and making it look very presentable for the world market. That is what we would welcome you with if you are interested in this type of business. Next slide, please. I've already mentioned this, so we can talk about the next one. Cotton. Ghana has a very unique forest cover. The capital, the southern side is like your prairies here, the Accra Plains. Then in the middle, we have the forest region, and in the northern part of the country is the savanna, which is very conducive for cotton production. We want to increase our output in cotton production, and it shouldn't end there, adding value to the cotton to be produced. So those who want to produce cotton may contact us. Those who want to maybe add value, production of yarns, ginneries, and the rest would also be good to find Ghana as a true home for their investment. The government of Ghana at the moment is very interested in encouraging made in Ghana clothing. For some time now, we've been using second-hand clothing from some parts of the world. When the resource is there for us to produce enough, we can be done next to the Asians in the textile and garment industry, because we also have a large pool of dressmakers, fashion designers. So any business person who decides to do business in this area should not be found wanting in terms of what to get. The labor is there to be recruited this sector. Next slide, please. Health. We want to be the next health hub in West Africa. Already a number of patients in neighboring countries flock to Ghana in search of high or quality healthcare. And we want to increase that. And business people, healthcare professionals from British Columbia could consider this if they want to create more health facilities, clinics, maternity homes, laboratories, chemical shops. Ghana is the destination because already we are on track and we are reputed for providing these services, but we still need more of these. Next slide, please. Mineral processing, I think I touched on this already, but I can still go over it. In 2007, we discovered oil. And by 2010, we started commercial production of petroleum. And as at now, the Jubilee field alone has not less than 1 billion barrels of crude oil, and we have about 800 billion cubic feet of gas. And we have so many resources, mineral resources like gold, diamond, manganese, bauxite. So what we need at this time, as we keep saying, we want to add value to our raw materials. So from the upstream to the low stream in the mineral sector, in the extractive sector, if you have the skills and the know-how, the capital for petrochemical industry, any aspect of it, you are welcome to do business with us. And south of Ghana is this Atlantic Ocean, and we want to beef up our salt production. We can produce salt for exports for the pharmaceutical industry. So interested business people can contact us on that. And then we know Canada is very strong in the mineral sector, so the extractive sector. Those of you with engineering services and consultancy experience who want to relocate to Ghana may consider it. Contract drilling, mining consultancies for the well-established companies. Already a number of Canadian companies are operating in Ghana, and we need more. Next slide, please. Tourism. I will not say much about this because a lot of you are already aware of this. Last year was a very big year for us before the pandemic, where we commemorated the 400-year anniversary, 400th anniversary of the arrival of the first slave from West Africa in Virginia, USA. We call that program the Year of Return. After that, the government put another one in motion, which is beyond the Year of Return. So it is not just tourism promotion for people of African descent, but for all people from all parts of the world to come to Ghana and have that experience, the golden experience in Ghana. We know the pandemic is not the best time. During the pandemic, we cannot talk a lot more about tourism promotion. But I want to assure you, with all the positive developments coming out from the big pharmaceutical companies, after the pandemic, we know Ghana will be good for business again, for tourist arrival. And if we are talking about tourist arrivals, then it means we'll be expecting more hotels, restaurants, camping sites in our tourism sites. So it is something worth the consideration for interested investors. Next slide, please. Okay, I cannot talk about all these areas without talking about the procedure for doing business in Ghana. And because we are very committed to making business attractive and smooth for investors, the process has been so simplified. The step one for all interested investors to Ghana, you'll be expected to register at the Registrar General's department. And mind you, they are online. When you go, I'll be providing you with a contact at the end of this presentation. But let me state that the Ghana Registrar General's department is online. The procedure is user-friendly, public-friendly. First thing is to get your certificate of incorporation, and then you get your certificate to commence business. It all depends also on the type of business you want to do. Do you want to be a sole proprietor? Do you want to do partnership? Do you want to be a subsidiary, a limited or unlimited company? These are the decisions that you know best would have to determine whilst filling the form and doing your registration. And after that first step, I would encourage interested investors visit the website of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. There is also again an investor registration form online. You may contact this website, and if you need any further information or specifics, the Ghana High Commission will be there to assist you. Next slide, please. For the past 6 or 7 months, a lot of major things have happened on the African continent that I need to mention to this distinguished audience. It is about the creation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. It started from May 2018, and it is my honor to divulge to you that the Ghana government donated the Secretariat building to this African Continental Free Trade Agreements. So operations have started. It means Africa is now going to have the biggest free trade area in the world in terms of the number of participating countries in this agreement. A population of 1.3 billion with some 33 trillion economy put together. So that means that Ghana hosting this secretariat, again, is a strong statement that we are committed to intra-African trade and industrialization. And this means that should you decide to do business from Ghana, you are not just going to be dealing with Ghana alone. You'll be dealing with the rest of the continent. Because you can pitch camp there as your springboard and then produce in Ghana and supply to the rest of the continent or West Africa. The West Africa sub-region alone has 300 million people. We have an economic bloc called the ECOWAS. So this is the right time for any business person from outside Africa to decide and keep faith with the continent. We have a very friendly business environment with developments going on that African countries want to be integrated in the global political economy. So it'd be good if our partners, business people in Canada also decide to join in deepening commercial or business ties between Africa and our part of the world, Canada. In terms of policy, there is something that the Ghana government is also doing that is worth mentioning here. The government is very aggressive with one district, one factory initiative, where investors will be encouraged. Any part of Ghana that you choose, you visit Ghana, you survey the market, and you feel I can do any business, whether it is a small factory, medium size factory, or large factory, you'll be assisted. And they also have a secretariat. So it is up to business people to take advantage of that, because the long-term vision of the government of Ghana is to broaden the manufacturing and industrial base of the country as we take advantage of the big continental free trade area, which is about to take off. Next slide, please. Before I conclude, I would like to give you these contacts. Have the Ghana High Commission. The first thing you want to do from Canada, if you are going to Ghana to do business, is to contact us. You go to our website, which you can see. It is self-explanatory. What type of visa do you need? How long do you want to be in Ghana? Once you fill the forms, please contact us. We would expedite action to enable you to travel to Ghana. I have already mentioned the Ghana Registrar General's Department, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Ghana Free Zones Authority is another one which I nearly missed. The free zones concept has something to do with creating zones for production, so you can relocate to Ghana and pretend not to be operating in Ghana. All we need is employ people, and you can produce, and about 70% of your production, you could export it to any part of the world. There are tax breaks, tax incentives, and the Free Zones Authority also has a very good website. If you are interested in maybe just producing and exporting, not for Ghanaian, for the Ghanaian market, you may consider the Free Zones concept. And then being business people, the trade board, I would encourage you, and this is a strong recommendation, the Association of Ghana Industries. This is made up of successful businessmen, captains of business in Ghana. So I would encourage you, we, the Ghana High Commission, will be willing to seed your board with the Ghana Association of Industries, so there could be deeper or stronger collaboration between these two associations as we move Ghana-Canada relations forward. The next slide and the conclusion. In conclusion, I want to state that Ghana and Africa's economic and financial renaissance is possible through healthy and mutually beneficial commercial ties. We should also remember that the pandemic has taught all of us some lesson that it is not the best to just focus on one country out there to be the single or sole source of supplier for the rest of the world. And Africa is ready for business. Ghana is ready for business. There are so many basic things we can produce in Ghana, and business people from British Columbia are welcome to make Ghana that investment destination, which can provide a backup for the global supply chain in terms of medical equipment or any other needs that the world might require. I thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adlifo. And now we have our last speaker, or final speaker for today, Mr. Warren Sankowski.
Okay. Thank you, Melissa. So I've been told that I have 10 minutes to talk about the CANEXPORT program and the Trade Commissioner Service. So what I'm going to do is share the screen here. I have a presentation. Okay. All right. Now I hope everybody can see this presentation here on CANEXPORT SMEs. So my title is Trade Commissioner. Hold 1 second here. Format. Okay, view. Okay, that's better. I'm a trade commissioner at the Pacific Regional Office here in Vancouver. There's about 20 of us covering all sectors of the economy. And our purpose is to help you grow your exports. If you are a Canadian small business and you want to enter, do business in Ghana or other African countries or any country around the world, we're here to help you. And we do this through several different ways, which I'll explain. So I'm going to talk a bit about the Trade Commissioner Service, and then I'm going to talk about the CANEXPORT program and other funding programs that we offer, and then how to get in contact with us and take advantage of these. So we have a global network of offices in more than 160 cities around the world. Basically anywhere there's a Canadian consulate or embassy or high commission. In the case of Ghana, we have a high commission in the capital, Accra. They have officers in each office to provide you market intelligence, to make connections and introductions to local customers or local business partners, and to do problem solving for any business questions you may have. In the middle, you see funding. So our main funding program is the CANEXPORT program, and there's a few different versions of this. We have the SMEs version, which is traditional business development. We have an associations one for business associations representing a whole industry. There's one on innovation and one on community investment. So I'll go into detail on those later. And we have business support in other ways, such as technology accelerators, which is a kind of incubator if you have a unique piece of technology. Then we have different science, technology, innovation support, and inclusive international business development. So here on this slide, you can see that our CANEXPORT programs come in a few different versions. On the left, the business development support for SMEs offers between $15,000 and $75,000 in expenses reimbursed to you from the Canadian government for a project to enter a new market. That's the one that you're probably, most of you on this event will be interested in. We also have one for associations, which offers larger amounts of money, but under different conditions. We have a program called CANEXPORT Innovation, which is up to $75,000 for research and development partnerships. So this is typically when you've found a foreign research partner to commercialize your technology in that market, and you want to work together with them. And then finally, we have community investment, which is designed more to attract investment into Canada. We also have different funding programs, the Business Women International Trade Program for women-owned businesses. We have an Indigenous Business Support Program. We have a CTA, as I mentioned, the Canadian Technology Accelerator, which is offered in a small number of markets. which is to incubate and accelerate the growth of specific technologies, and the CIIP program, which is another innovation program for a small number of countries. So CANEXPORT SMEs, what it offers is funding to help you grow into a new market. So if you are doing business in Canada and you are thinking about doing business in Ghana or somewhere else, but you haven't had many sales, then it can offer you funding to pay for certain kinds of expenses, such as creating and adapting marketing tools. You can pay for IP protection and certification. You can pay for legal, tax, and business advice. And you can pay for market research and feasibility studies, including hiring a consultant in the market. And you can pay to identify key contacts and B2B facilitation as well. So this program is open to any for-profit company in any sector. As long as you're incorporated, you have a Canada Revenue Agency business number, you have less than 500 employees, and you have revenues between 100,000 and 100 million in your last tax year in Canada. So the markets that are eligible are anywhere that you've had less than 100,000 in sales in the last year. You can choose up to 5 markets. So this is interesting. Ghana may be of interest to you, and you might also be thinking about exporting to other African markets in the region, in West Africa, for example, and you want to do a multi-market application. You can choose up to 5 for this funding program, as long as you have a business case and a strategy to enter each of those markets. And you can justify it by demonstrating a knowledge of the competition, opportunities and challenges, and how you're going to be successful there. So some activities, to give you an example of how you could use the money, are participating in virtual trade fairs and virtual trade missions. So prior to COVID, we offered funding for real travel to for flights and hotels and those kind of things. Obviously, under this current condition, that's not the case. We've put a pause on that until the situation with the pandemic normalizes. When it goes back to a normal situation, we will most likely allow the travel expenses again. But for right now, only virtual. You can also use it for marketing. A lot of companies take advantage of this. Things like search engine optimization, Google advertising, Facebook advertising, those expenses can be included in your CANEXPORT application, as well as adapting your marketing so that it has a look and feel that's appropriate to the foreign market where you're trying to enter. Interpretation services and translation, this relates to languages. Ghana is an English-speaking country, so it's not really an issue there, but if you're doing business in, for example, a West African French-speaking country, you can have your materials translated into French. IP protection, I mentioned, business, tax, and legal advice, and market research. So this is a great program that I encourage you to apply for if you have a serious interest in entering a new market and you want to reduce the costs of doing so. As I mentioned, your budget can be between $20,000 and $100,000, and you'll get 3/4 of those costs reimbursed by us after you've spent it. The benefits for Canada. So you have to talk about how this will benefit Canada, because ultimately that's why we exist, is to help the Canadian economy. So this could be in the form of new jobs that you've created here in Canada, research and development that you're on, new technologies that you're working on, increased sales, increased revenues, signing agreements, contracts, those sorts of things. The innovation version of the CANEXPORT program is a little bit different. It's similar in terms of the eligibility, but instead of focusing on traditional business development, which is marketing and trade shows and those sorts of things, it's really for R&D partnerships. So you have to have technology that you are working on with the foreign partner, and you have to own the IP for that. Other than that, it's a similar process to apply for CANEXPORT. So if you want more details on this, I'm happy to send them to you by email after the call. We have some tips here on the application, which is to carefully read our applicant guide and our FAQ page on our website. Apply early before you plan to spend the money, and speak with a trade commissioner in your sector. So as I said, we cover all sectors except for agriculture and agri-food. So if you are looking to export Canadian food products to Ghana, then you deal with AAFC instead of us. If you're dealing with any other sector, infrastructure, clean tech, telecommunications, consumer products, you know, any of those sorts of things, then we can help you and we'll have someone who'll be happy to speak with you. So there's no deadline for CANEXPORT. You can apply anytime. You just have to go to our website, follow the form and fill out your information, put as much as you can, and speak with the trade commissioner about it. We can usually give you advice on what to consider and how to develop a strong application. So I just wanted to do a few notes before I conclude this presentation. You have your email address here for CANEXPORT, but for Trade Commissioner Services more generally, which is the contacts, introductions, and market advice, you can go to our website, tradecommissioner.gc.ca. We have lots of good information on there. Follow us on social media. And if you want to look at the site of our High Commission in Accra, Ghana, I put the address here in blue. It's canadainternational.gc.ca/Ghana. And I just wanted to do a couple points right now. I will stop sharing the screen. Okay, so it's back to me. Melissa was asking about the FIPA negotiations. So Canada and Ghana, we launched negotiations for a foreign investment promotion and protection agreement in 2011. The most recent round of that was in July 2013 in Accra. And in 2017, our leaders indicated a willingness to meet further and conclude these negotiations. But we haven't had any talks since January of 2019. So unfortunately, we don't have a FIPA agreement in place now with Ghana. But hopefully this will come in the future. And I took note of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement that, that was mentioned earlier in the presentation. This is a very encouraging sign. As many of you know, Canada is a country that, despite this difficult year and despite the political and economic trends around the world, we're very much a country that supports free trade and open trade and transparent rules between countries. Who knows, like our leaders could potentially be negotiating something in the future with Ghana or with other African countries. I can't go into details on this because it's above my level, but we will wait and see. So if anybody wants information on Trade Commissioner Services, feel free to send me an email after this presentation, and I will be happy to connect you with the right person.
Thank you so much, Warren. And now we're going to move to the question and answer period for our webinar. We have a few questions in the chat, but I wanted to ask Mr. Alifo and potentially Warren, you've talked a lot about the opportunities in Ghana, and actually this is one of the questions of one of our participants. There are, obviously every country has its own challenges in terms of trading or breaking into that market. Could you tell us a little bit more about the challenges that may present themselves when you're looking at expanding in Ghana? Specifically, one of the panelists asked, or sorry, one of the participants asked about potential corruption And so what are some of the measures that the government has put in place to address corruption and to ensure that Canadian companies can feel secure when they are doing business in Ghana?
That is an interesting question. Thank you. It is true, all parts of the world, there are incidents of corruption, and no one with integrity would condone that. I think we've taken note of this as a challenge, but I want to assure you that the most important thing is a level playing field. We have the information self-explanatory messages. The problem is some people who want to do business go dealing with the wrong people. And then at the end of the day, we all get blamed out of disappointment. So my response would be for interested investors to deal with the right partners. That is why I was at pain to provide you with some contacts. If you want to register your business, you don't have to bribe anybody. You go by the roadside and you are dealing with the wrong guy somewhere. That is where the problem could start. So you have a website of the Ghana Registrar General's Department. What type of business do you want to do? You are going to fill out your own form and you can register your business right here from Canada. You don't have to go to Accra in person to register your business. You can go online and deal directly with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. So it becomes very difficult to say that because there is corruption out there, somebody would decide not to do business. And again, we have a thriving democracy. The institutions are working, the police are there, the court system, the media, free media. So some of these teething problems or challenges are real, but with a direct approach to the right institutions, we should be able to overcome that challenge.
Thank you very much for that. And true of a lot of countries, you know, knowing the right people and being able to be in touch with those people is very important in order to get things started. So on that point, I'm wondering if, Warren, are there there's a lot of virtual trade showcases or missions that are taking place. Is there any plans to have any for Africa or Ghana specifically that you know?
Mm-hmm. Good question. I don't know of any off the top of my head, but we have geographic desks at our headquarters that we can always ask. And we have our High Commission in the country that will have very good information on that. So there's often trade events happening all around the world in different sectors. Sometimes they're virtual. These days, most of them are virtual. But that information is easy to come by. What I would say is if companies have questions about Ghana, either on the opportunities, like what business opportunities are in the country, or how can I avoid the problems that might come up in doing business there, come talk to us, because our office in the country, in the capital, it sometimes gives advice on, for example, how to register a business the proper way. And if you're looking into the reputation of a business partner, let's say there's a buyer in Ghana who says, I want to import from you, but you don't know this person's history and you don't know the reputation, you can ask those questions to us and they will look into it. And any information that our High Commission has, about that organization they'll provide to you. So it'll give you a little bit more certainty and clarity about how to proceed.
Thank you for that. Now, is it better to get in touch with the Trade Commissioner Service or to get in touch with the Trade and Investment Portal that's through the Ghana website that Mr. Alifo shared?
So there's the importing and there's the exporting side. What I would suggest is, because my organization focuses entirely on exporting from Canada to the world, if that's your interest, then contact us. If you're importing from Ghana, like Ghana's manufactured or agricultural products into Canada, the TCS doesn't really deal with those situations very much unless they're going to be re-exporting. So if you're buying from Ghana, transforming it, and then sending it to another country, then we can help you. But if you're just buying to sell to consumers inside Canada and it's an import, then you're better off talking with the Ghana Trade Office here in Canada.
Excellent, thank you. We had a specific question from one of our participants about the availability of water in Ghana to serve cotton growth. Would you be able to speak to that, Mr. Alifo?
Yes, please. Yeah, thank you for the question. As I mentioned earlier, somewhere in your slide, you mentioned utilities. So I will briefly tackle water and utilities. The country is so endowed, like Canada, with water resources everywhere. The Volta River flows all the way from Burkina Faso through the whole country into the sea. But there is a challenge. We need to mechanize agriculture, irrigation, agricultural irrigation. So water per se shouldn't be a problem. How to harness the water resource is the issue. That was why I mentioned irrigation facilities. So people who want to do agri, get into the agri sector, also be thinking about, we need to shift from rain-fed agriculture into professional farming. So if you have the capability of doing irrigation, farming, and add irrigation facilities, that would be a very good thing. So you are not left at the vagaries of the weather, but rather have the command as to what water to supply to your product. Having said that, the government itself is also initiating irrigation projects across the length and breadth of the country to encourage agriculture. So it shouldn't be a problem. Thank you.
Thank you for that. We have a few other questions here. There's a question about, if you are Ghanaian born, do you follow the same process as someone who would be a Canadian company looking to invest in Ghana?
Okay, thank you for the question. Again, whether the person is a Ghanaian or a Canadian or American, if you want to do business in Ghana, you must register your business. So we all have the same rules here. You go to the website or the offices of the Registrar General's Department and register your company. And then after that, you obtain your certificate to commence business. So the rule is the same for all of us, please.
Excellent, thank you. Mr. Frimpong, I wonder if you might be able to touch on some of the business etiquette. So, every country has their own business culture and how they work together. Would you be able to touch on, either your experience or what are the do's and don'ts when you're doing business in Ghana with Ghanaians?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yes, to do business in Ghana actually is a great one. As Mr. Elifo said, one has to be careful. Like your business is properly registered. B, choose a partner through the back door. Make sure that the person that you are working with is trusted, is well vetted. He has all the necessary resumes, and so that you don't live to be disappointed. You like everywhere in Canada, US, everywhere, you have to be careful with your partners. Make sure that everything is legally binded. And these are some of the basic facts that you should have. You just go and start a business without proper accreditation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I wanted to just ask one last question. We've sort of run to the end of our time today. What I will say to anyone who hasn't had their question answered or has more questions, you can feel free to email me your questions and I can forward them. We will also be sharing contact information of all of our panelists today. So if you wanted to reach out and ask them a specific question, you can feel free to do so. We're also going to be sharing the video and the PowerPoint presentation that was shared throughout. So for my last question, we've heard quite a bit about Ghana's renewable energy strategy. And, everyone really, all countries in the world are looking at that with climate change. What are some of the things that Canadian companies could support Ghana in their renewable energy strategy?
Thank you, Melissa, for that wonderful question. This is the future, renewable energy. And as we said earlier on, we are the country closest to that intersection. We are very close to the equator. So 365 days in the year, we have abundant sunshine. So why should there be energy deficit? That is how the Canadians can take advantage of this. Startup companies in the solar, they can decide to come into Ghana to manufacture solar products, panels, inverters, batteries. And then if they cannot manufacture, at least create assembling plants. Because all parts of the world, although some major towns and cities are connected to the national grid, some communities are off grid. And this is what we need to do when we are talking also about poverty eradication. We need to extend energy power to schools. We are in the middle of a pandemic. If we decide to supply rural communities with vaccines, how do we store them? So right there is an opportunity for any Canadian company with interest in solar refrigeration facilities. So out there, even if the communities are off-grid, they can have energy, solar refrigeration materials. We can also supply solar street lights, solar lights to schools in the rural community. So the field is really vast. It is just about that bold decision that this is what I want to do, and there will be a ready market for you in Ghana in this direction. Apart from solar, we have the sea. We heard about new technology to use sea waves to produce energy. If that know-how is right there in Canada, why not? You can pitch camp with Ghana. And then we are also talking about bioenergy. So much waste. is out there, which can be converted into biogas and other materials, or even manure for rural communities. So the field is really broad. Let's go for it. That is our future.
Absolutely. And on that note, I want to thank all three of you, Mr. Alifo, Mr. Frimpong, and Mr. Senkowski, for taking the time to be with us today. To all our participants, thank you as well for taking the time to be with us. We will share all of the information for you afterwards. I'm sure there's lots more questions and lots more to discuss. So thank you so much, and make it a great business day.